At this time, we have a guest speaker that is going to speak briefly before our sermon today. His name is Dr. Lawrence Terlasese. He has published 11 books, specializing mainly in end times and technology. He would not say this about himself, but I personally believe that he is a corporate prophet and speaks directly into these situations pertaining to our end times. He has also published a book on, a commentary that is, on the book of Revelations, and he has taught all over the United States at universities, just throughout the United States. And so he's going to come and speak very briefly before our service. Please welcome Dr. Lawrence Terlasese.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Pastor. I'm glad to be here. This is the first time I'm actually doing anything online, so I'm very excited. But I just want to share my testimony. I don't want to take a lot of time. I know we're pressed for time, but I just want to share my testimony for a few minutes because it's always blessed people and brought people to the Lord. And that's what it's all about.
That's right.
That whatever we experience, hard times, even the good times, God is forming our character.
Yes.
To make us who we are.
Yes.
So I am 59 years old. I've been walking with the Lord for 42 years now.
Awesome.
I came to the Lord very early in my age. I think I was about 15. I grew up in a middle-class family, New York, New Jersey, and we were very happy. We went from Brooklyn, New York, to Staten Island, New York, to New Jersey. It's upwardly mobile. My father was a civil engineer from New York City, Mass Transit Association. I loved the Dallas Cowboys. I loved the New York Mets. I had 3 siblings, and then 2 half brother, half sister. But you know, they were full brother, full sister. We grew up together. I first heard about God in catechism class very young. Catechism is it would let you out of school around 2 o'clock. We'd walk down to the church, and they give us catechism. That was my education. We talked about the apostles, about the saints, we talked mostly about Jesus. We had the preacher come in and talk about Jesus being crucified on the cross. And when he went into detail what a crucifixion was, and it made me a little sick, but that's probably, we all looked at the cross, and if that's all we've ever seen, and if that's all we put on TV, I believe we would have a universal revival.
Right.
So, tragically, when I was 12, my father and mother always, in my opinion, got along. And it was never a violent situation. But when I was young, we were living in New Jersey. My mother had an affair, and she came home, and my father killed her in front of us. No doubt that has marked who I am, marked my character, and made me very cynical. Made me very cynical of God and the Bible. But I developed a lot of hatred. I developed a lot of anger. I developed a lot of feelings about God, that why God? We all ask that question, why God?
Yeah.
Why God did this happen? And so we had to go live with my aunt in Brooklyn, moved back to Brooklyn. We went from a nice house in New Jersey to a 2-bedroom apartment in Brooklyn, living with all my cousins until we were able to find a house. And then I went for foster care, and then back to Brooklyn. I was kind of up in the air most of my teenage life. But then we went to visit a friend's house. Her name was Bee. She's a very religious person, very devout, very spiritual. She talked to me about Jesus. She talked to all of us about Jesus. She wasn't really being preachy, but just how Jesus can change your life, and Jesus should come into your life, and Jesus should be the most important thing in your life. And at first, I wasn't sure about what she was saying, but she had a book there. It was called 1980s Countdown to Armageddon by Hal Lindsey, a prophetic book. And it had a picture of the hourglass and the bombs in the back. And as a young person, I was always interested in war movies and that sort of thing. And so I saw the cover, and it struck me, and I said, "Can I borrow your book? Can I have that book?" She said, "Sure, take it." She gave it to me, went home, read it, and at the end, the book is about prophecy. The book was about how the 1980s and the proliferation of nuclear weapons, which was very bad back then. Now it's calmed down, but was setting us up for the end of the world. 1980s Countdown to Armageddon. And then at the end of the book, he had a prayer. If you want to come to Jesus, pray this prayer. And I did. I felt the Holy Spirit come on me. It was an immediate transformation. I started reading the Bible. I started reading the New Testament especially. I started reading the Gospels. I read the Sermon on the Mount. And I realized if I'm going to be serious about this, if I'm going to be serious about living for the Lord, I have to forgive my father.
Right.
I have to forgive my enemies. We're told forgive one another, forgive and you shall be forgiven. Forgiveness, Jesus on the cross said, "Father, forgive them, they know not what they do."
Yes.
Right.
And then I realized the great debt of sin that God had forgiven me, and so I had to forgive my father. And that wasn't overnight. I spent many years in bitterness, but eventually I got the courage to ask my godfather who still stayed in touch with him when he was in prison. I didn't know where he was, but my godfather did. And so I got in touch with him, and he gave me his address, and he gave me his contact information. When I graduated high school, I went out to Youth with a Mission, which is a young person's organization. It's a missionary training school. I wrote him a letter, and he read it, and apparently was very thankful for it. And he went up for parole, and they said, "You're in contact with your family." And he said, "Yeah, I have this letter." And they read the letter. The parole board read it. They all cried and let him go. And they said, "Go take care of your son." And I think I was 18 at the time. So I was walking with the Lord, and when I was finished with missionary training school, I was ready to start college. So I moved back to Brooklyn. I moved in with my dad. It's one thing to say you forgive, and that's nice, but it's another thing to live with the person that you considered such a bad person, such an enemy. And of course, he was very grateful. He came to the Lord. His second wife came to the Lord. It was very exciting, and I was never afraid. I was never afraid to talk to him. I was never afraid to sleep under his roof and to stay in the same apartment with him. My cousin said, "Aren't you afraid of him?" No, the Lord said, "Go fear away."
Right.
The Lord said, "Go fear away," and set me on the right track. So I went to college. I left, of course, when I went to college, I lived with him for about 2 years. I was in community college, and then I went to Columbia Bible College in South Carolina. And that's where I met my wife, Jane, and we decided we were going to be missionaries to Italy. And so I started studying at Dallas Seminary for this position. And towards the end of my career there, my first degree, master's degree, I decided I wanted to go on for more study. I needed more study in order to understand what I'm talking about. We took a trip to Italy together before we had our son, first son Zachary, who's here with us, thank you. And we decided it wasn't for us. Italy was a beautiful country, and of course my background is Italian, so and I grew up with Italians, and I felt like I had to reach them, and I did. I reached many of them, but we went there, and it wasn't for us. We loved the country. We came home, and I decided I was going to pursue my PhD. So I spent many years pursuing that. I did it on a fellow called Trapilo, basically on theology and technology. From that, I've been able to write 11 books. I have a blog. I used to teach at University of Texas, Dallas. I used to teach at Dallas Theological Seminary. I used to teach at Texas Women's University, and I love teaching.
Right.
I love teaching. But then the divorce came, and of course you can't be a teacher at Dallas Seminary if you're divorced. So I was teaching at University of Texas at Dallas. Then I became addicted to drugs, and so I lost that conviction. And I hit rock bottom. I finally admitted to the Lord, Lord, I'm a drug addict. Please forgive me and raise me out of this. And of course, He did, and set me on the right track. I haven't gone back to that at all. I stay sober. I stay in fellowship and contact with the Lord. And I know God has forgiven me. And God has brought me this far, and He will bring me the whole way. My main message is forgiveness. You have to forgive one another. If you want to live this life, you must forgive your enemies. Forgive and you should be forgiven. He who loves much forgives much.
Yes.
And so my prayer for you is that you would, if you could just pray for a minute, if you could just think in your heart who you need to forgive, who has offended you. Your ex, most likely your ex-wife or ex-boyfriend, or a sibling that you're estranged from. Very, very difficult. There's no reason to be estranged from your sibling. I mean, your family is all you have. You must love your family and stay together with your family. The people who are closest to us, our family, are usually the ones that hurt us the most.
Yes.
That hurt us the most. And so, for a minute, ask the Lord, Lord, please take this unforgiveness away from me and give me the grace to forgive the unforgivable and to forgive those who have offended me and set me on the right path and walking with you. So now I'm a professional writer, and I published many books, as I said. I have a possible movie contract in one of my books. They're interested in making the Book of Revelation the screenplay. So, God has led me, and God has brought me. I have 4 beautiful children, and they all walk with the Lord, and we're waiting for grandchildren, and we can't wait. We've been praying for that. I live in New Jersey now, and I spend my time reading and writing and talking with people about God.
That's good.
And that's what it's all about. Forgive, and you shall be forgiven. So that's my message to you. The gospel is all about forgiveness. God has forgiven us. We freely forgive each other. So thank you.